I chose the national road to a place that you may not know. This is a very rare temple called Guanyin Pavilion. This is the Guanyin Temple and it is rarely visited. On the cliff above, half of the temple stands. You can see this place from the national road, but if you are not careful, you will miss it. I visited Guanyin Pavilion and continued northward. I came to Jizhou Mountain near air high at an altitude of 3,248 meters. Jizhou Mountain is a Buddhist mountain, one of the 4 Buddhist mountains. Since the dynasty, it was built into a Buddhist site. At the top there were 36 large temples and 72 small temples. I first came to Jizhou Mountain about 30 years ago. From the past, people had to climb by foot. Now you can drive to the top. There are also shuttle cars and winding roads, so you can reach the top temple. Jinbing Temple is on Mount Jizhou, built in the Ming Dynasty. Most of the buildings were built during the Ming Dynasty. I once stayed in Jinbing Temple for a night. My only impression was that the quilt was dirty and the night was cold. But now the accommodation conditions are very different. The Jizhou Mountains are covered with forest from 2200 to 3200 meters above sea level. I heard that there were wild monkeys, but I never saw them. At that time, monkeys didn't dare to approach humans. Now, groups of monkeys live in the Jushan temple area. They beg tourists for food and their numbers have increased. But like other mountains, Jizhou is no exception. I once saw a monkey pull down the water bucket, spilling it. When I tried to lift the bucket, the monkey attacked because of the wind. The base is dry and hot. Even in the rainy season, the mountain corners are dry. The annual rainfall here is only a part of that in Dali. The Bazi in this area is 1400 meters, which is 500 meters lower than Kangshan, Jizhou and other places at 3000 meters. This climate is influenced by warm air from India. In Bajan, the highest temperature can reach 38 degrees and in the Jinsha River Valley it can reach 43 degrees. It is called a fire stove state. It is said God will open a window here. The same goes for the river. The temperature difference is large and the sun shines for a long time. Because of this, the climate is very good for growing fruits. Winter daylight is around 13 hours and the average temperature is around 18 degrees. This makes the fruits sweeter, especially the dried tangerine which ripens in winter. These tangerines are among the sweetest and winter tangerines are rare in all varieties. However, Chicheng tangerines are not very popular, probably because they are not the best variety. The Chicheng orange is ranked second, and in the orchards it only occupies a small part. So what is the number one fruit here? Maybe you don't know that Binchuan is already the top grape producing county in China. In Turpan, grapes are mainly used for raisins. Other northern grape producers mainly use them for wine. But Binchuan produces fresh grapes for supermarkets. In Binchuan, early ripening grapes are ready in June and late ripening grapes in October. This supply cycle is much longer than other places. The red grapes you saw earlier in China may have come from Binchuan. Now Binchuan grapes are famous nationwide. You have to promote your own production landmarks. The main species are red grapes, including red kiwi grapes, chrysanthemum grapes, and rose grapes. By planting grapes, farmers in Binchuan County can earn 20,000 to 30,000 yuan. This is much higher than the income from corn and potatoes. Since Binchuan is particularly dry, how do they solve the water problem? One of the important sources is water from Erhai Lake, brought through the Erhai to Binchuan Tunnel, built in 1994. Every year, 50 million cubic meters of water flows into Binchuan through the tunnel. In the future, the Dianzhong water supply project will further improve the water system. It would also help improve the water quality of Erhai. Fruits here are not only in orchards or parks, but also planted along the streets. Even landscape trees are replaced by fruit trees. This greatly improves the beauty of the area. I can watch them for half an hour. But the workload for maintenance has also increased because fruits must be picked when ripe. Otherwise, the fruits will fall and create trouble. Although Binchuan is an agricultural county, I have also seen some industrial enterprises here. For example, wind power plants. When you see them, you understand immediately. Wind power plants greatly reduce the cost of energy. This is Mingyan Smart, a high-end wind power plant. The tower is nearly 90 meters high. If such a giant building is transported to the eastern coastal area for installation, the transportation cost will be very high and difficult. Transporting and installing the blades is the most difficult part. Trucks often cannot make turns because of the length and height. Therefore, wind turbine blades here cannot be made particularly long. But the longer the blade, the more power the generator can produce. In the next episode, I will go to Nanjing County to see the Nanjing Soil, Mount Wuliang, and perhaps China's high-speed railway. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.